Good morning, everyone. How is your health? Sybcom Computer Science lecture. I am starting now. Now we are in our second lesson, that is command line. You are aware with it, right? When we start Fox Pro, at that time we can see the screen of Fox Pro over there. Already I had given explanation regarding this. The first line of Fox Pro is known as title bar. Second line is known as menu bar. In the middle of screen, we can see there Fox Pro logo and command window. All the words which we can see in menu bar is known as menu pad. When we click on menu pad, then we can see options of that particular menu. We can open that particular menu pad with its shortcut key also. The highlighted character of any menu pad, we have to press that character with Alt key and it will become shortcut key of that particular menu pad. For example, file menu is there, then Alt F. If you can see highlighted underlined character, then that is the hotkey for that particular menu pad. Just we have to press that key with Alt key. So this will become our shortcut key of that particular menu. Right? The last line of the Fox Pro window is known as status bar. Here we can see drive letter, database name, position of record pointer, and status of keyboard. Last line, again I am repeating this, last line is known as status bar. During the processing in Fox Pro, here different information can be displayed. For example, already I told you drive letter, database name, record pointer position, status, keyboard status, etc. We can on and off this status bar by using set status command. So the main screen of Fox Pro always we can see with command window. Command window is the main window of the Fox Pro. Now we have to move on our next term, that is command line. When we have to make work in Fox Pro, at that time we have to write one line command in this command window. This line is known as command line. When we have to write command line, at that time some points should be taken into consideration. When we have to write any command line, at that time we can't write any command line directly over there, but we have to follow certain rules over there, which some points should be taken into consideration at the time of writing command line. Now we have to discuss this topic. We can write command line in lowercase or uppercase alphabet, or by the combination of both this alphabet. Foxborough is not case sensitive language. That's why we can write any of the command line by using any of the case. Next one is there. Command line must be start with main command. As the rest of the character or as the rest of the part, we can utilize their parameter, but we have to start the command line with the main command, and after that we can utilize the sub command and parameter also. For example, our main command is their list, right? But I want to see the list for any particular designation, so you will have to write that list is your main command. For then you will have to write that condition, and then you will have to mention over there list for any particular designation. So you have to write that designation equal to into inverted comma manager. Whose designation is manager? Those records I want to see at that time. You will have to apply this. So in short, you can say that list is your main command. Then designation, I mean to say, then you can apply their sub command and parameters, right? Next one is there. Yeah, command line. I mean to say, the main command of the command line is known as keyword or reserve word, which you apply the main command of the command window or command line is known as keyword or reserve word. We can write whole command in the command line, or we can write first 4 characters of that particular command. For example, if I want to utilize over the append command, the spelling of append command is there APPEND. So I can write over there APPEND, or otherwise I can apply there APPE, only first 4 character of that particular command. We can apply this method for command. We can apply this method for command, but we can apply this method for also for sub command, function also, right? If we want to make there, we have to utilize over there. I want to make their modification of report there, right? At that time we have to apply the modify report command, but instead of that we can apply that MODIREPO, modify report. Modify is command there. What do you want to modify of the report, right? I want to make it in report. So modify is spelling is there MODIFY. So instead of whole spelling, we can apply that first 4 character of that particular, and report REPO first 4 character we can utilize there. We can use this method to increase the speed of typing. For that we can apply this method. The parameters of the command can be displayed in any of the order. It is not the compulsory thing that we have to maintain any sequence over there to write the parameters in command line, right? If so, for example, display all for designation equal to clerk. If I want to give that, at that time I have to write that display all. Just I want to see all the records over there for only designation field, right? And equal to clerk. I mean to say whose designation is clerk. I want to see that much of records, right? So we have to apply that display all for DESIG equal to clerk, right? Now display, we can write in this manner also, display for DEG equal to DESIG equal to clerk all. So you can use the parameter in any of the sequence. Next one is there, your fifth point is there, the execution of command line, it will be start by using enter key. So after completion of each and every command, if you want to get output at that time, you will have to give that enter key. Next one is that if your command line is big in size and if you want to divide it in more than one line, at that time, after completion of one line, just we have to give that semicolon sign. And rest of the parts, rest of the characters, just you have to write it in new line. But after completion of one line, if we give enter, then Foxrow will execute that particular line at a time, because after completion of each and every command, we have to give that enter key, right? That's why we can see our output. If you don't want to see your output after completion of one line, if your command line is big in size, then after completion of one line, you have to write there only semicolon sign, and then you will have to write their second line a command, right? If your command line is very big in size and if you want to continue it in third line, then after completion of third line, you will have to press the enter key. In between, if you press the enter key, then you can't see your proper output over there. All the commands which you utilized previously, it will be stored in your memory. So according to your requirements, you can recall all those commands. So according to your requirements, you can execute all those commands, you can recall them and you can utilize it. Now we have to move on our next topic, data field. Is it clear, everyone? Now we have to make the discussion regarding data field. Data field is also known as data types. In your C language, you already learned about different data types were there. That is, can you tell me the name of that data type which you used in C language? Yes or no? Okay, I don't think so. You remember all those things over there. But in Sybcom, C language was there. There are different data types we can utilize in C language. That is integer, float, assignment, no, not assignment, but integer, float, double, then characters, etc. Right? Okay, but now here we have to utilize, in Foxrow we have to utilize another data type. I mean to say, data field is also known as data types. In Foxrow it is stored different types of information. There are different type of data types we can utilize over there. Data type is also known as data fields, right? Which data type we can utilize over there? Mainly total 7 data types we can utilize over here. That is character, numeric, float, dat, logical, memo, and general. Right? So we have to make discussion one by one. First one is there, character field. To store character or string type information, this field is used. We can write there uppercase A to Z and lowercase a to Z, number 0 to 9, and special symbols can be stored in this type of field. The maximum field width of this character field is 254 characters. So maximum 254 characters can be right. If we write here numeric type of information, we can write here numeric type of information, but we can't make processing or calculation on it. It will be considered as only character value. But if you want to make any arithmetic calculation, then you will have to write numeric type of information in numeric data field. You can't write here. But in some of the case, just you will have to write all the numbers as a character. Then you can apply this data type. All the information which we write here, it will be right with left justify alignment. This character type, data type of, this character type of data type can be used to write name, address, designation or post, and telephone number, etc. If you write telephone number over there, then there is no necessary to make any calculation on it. But if we have to enter there salary type of information, at that time we have to make some arithmetic calculation on it. That's why we can't write in this character data field, right? Our next data type is that numeric field. To store numeric data, this field is used, where integer, positive or negative values can be stored. Here, comma cannot be used. Maximum length of 20 digits can be given, and decimal point up to 15 can be obtained. So, maximum length of this data type is that 20 digits, and after decimal points you can apply that 15 digits, right? Is that clear, everyone? Okay. On this type of information, we can make the arithmetic calculation. To make the arithmetic calculation, different type of operator, function and command we can get in Foxpro. Generally, this data field is used to display interest, salary, age, marks, quantity, value type of information. This type of information can be displayed with right justify alignment. Here, in this data field, we can write only numeric type of information. We can't write character type of information. Right. Our next data type is their data. This type of field is used to store data type information. Its width is 8. It is not necessary to specify the width. 8 is taken by default, where 2 digits are for date, 2 for month and 4 for year. This type of data type is used to write birth date, deposit date, maturity date, expiry date, joining date, resignation date, retirement date, date type of information. In short, we can say that when we have to write date type of information, at that time this date type of or data type is used. We can enter there valid date only. Here in Foxpro, to write date, we can get American. We have to apply there, we have to follow their American method. In American method, the format of date is their DDYY. In British format, date must be written in DDMMYY format. But here we have to apply their DDYY format. MM is for month, DD is for date, and YY for year, right? So we have to use that. And after completion of just we have to give their slash, then DD, then slash, and then YY. If we write the date in proper manner, then Foxpro will accept it. Otherwise, we can't make any calculation on it. If we want to make any changes in the date, at that time we can get different command and functions to make the processing on date. Right? Our next data type is our logical data type. This type of field is used to store only one character .t or .f . Mainly used where information is to be stored in yes or no. Example: Sybcom exam is passed in first try, yes or no. .t or .f can be given, right? So when you want to get your answer in true or false or in yes or no form, at that time this logical data type is used. Here we can utilize only one character in answer. So we have to mention over the .t or .f . If yes, then .t and .t . If no, then .f . It must be necessary before and after we have to put that dot. If do you want to know that the person is mature or not, student is pass or not, the salary is greater than 5,000 or not, if any type of logical information do you want to apply, at that time you will have to apply logical data type of information. If you want to check the condition during the execution of program, at that time you will have to you can get the answer only in logical form. If you want to apply any condition, then you can get answer in only logical form. So mainly these 4 data type which we can used in Foxpro, but there are total 7 data type, but these 4 are main 4 data type which we can utilize over there, and rest of the 3 data type just I am giving explanation regarding this. Float fields, float data type. To store numeric data, this field is used where integer, fractional, positive or negative and values can be stored. But when decimal point beyond 15 is required, float field is used. It is very useful for scientific calculation. In another words, we can say that float, when we have to make exact calculation, at that time we have to apply float data type. Next one is the memo data type. When information is to be stored in text form, memo field is used. That is, when more than 254 characters are to be stored in any field, memo field is used. So when we have to write, when we want to write more than 254 characters, at that time we have to utilize this memo data type. For example, when a database for books is created, it is required to summarize that content in brief, which can be stored in a memo field. The width of memo field is here 10 by default, but according to the memory of computer, any volume of data can be stored. To store the information in memo field, control page down or control home key is used. Control plus W or Control plus N is used to save data. The content of memo field can be modified by modify memo command. The help of Foxrow is stored in memo field. Last but not least data type is that general field. This field can be used in window-based Foxrow only. When object type information like picture, movie, WAV file, word processing, document, spreadsheet are to be stored, this field is used. For example, any picture from file in paintbrush can be stored in DBF and it can also be played using this field. Okay, so these are the field, data type, data field. So now it's over here today. All of you take care of yourself. Have a nice day. See you.